Hello, everyone. It is so great to be in here. I'm going to give you all some time to get in and get situated. We are streaming in a new place this time. Not new for you because you won't even notice. You're just possibly Instagram or possibly Facebook. But for us, i.e. me, I'm using Restream and Eat. We were using StreamYard for a while and we just switched over. So don't mind me if there's any like new technology I'm figuring out, but I'm so thrilled to be here with all of you. This is such a special event that is so central to my heart because it's all about building our incredible, wonderful community already as it is. So do me a favor. For those of you who are watching live, what I would love for you to do is go ahead and drop in the comments who you are, where you're tuning in from. We get to do some fun stuff. We can show comments on the screen. We can get really like cool with the technology. But I want this to feel like, even though it's me live streaming, I want it to feel like a conversation that you can get all the answers that you need out of this and that I can really help you along the way. So go ahead, drop something in the comments, say hello, let this be a conversation. Let yourself continue to ask questions along the way. I will be happy to answer everything I can live. And then also, this is being recorded. You can watch this on YouTube anytime that you want so that you can get all the information that you need. If you can't be here live, that's totally fine too. So, and now the comments are coming in, which is so fantastic. Sylvia's here checking in from Alhambra, California. Claire is in Barcelona. I love when we get an international audience. So keep dropping in where everyone is, who you are, where you are. And today, what I want to do is take a minute to talk a little bit about our wonderful hubs. That's what you're all here for. So I have some slides. I'm going to show them to you. I'll give you a chance to learn all about what it is that we do at Wanderful in case you need a little bit of an overview, what it is to have our hub community and what that involves. And also we'll talk about the different roles of our hub leaders and what we're really looking for in leadership. So I hope you get a ton of answers and really good ones. Ask as many questions as you want. We're going to have a lot of fun. And it's so great to see all of you in here. I know it's like such a one-way conversation sometimes, but it is so nice to see, even through the comments, it's like I'm able to see some faces. So really fantastic. All right, let's hop into it. And I'll show you some great slides that'll give you some information. I'll also drop important links in the chat. The main one that you're going to want to know, which I'll share a few times, is if I can figure out where it is. Right here is the getting started link. So that's going to be the main thing that you're going to want as a takeaway for this event. Any way that you want to get started, whether it's starting a new hub or whether it's joining an existing hub leadership team, you'll go to sheswanderful.com/start-a-hub. It's all in there. There's an application in there. You can see it. But let's take a minute and talk through Wanderful and our hubs and who we are. So, of course, if you don't know me, let me introduce myself because I always jump into these things like raring to go. And sometimes I forget to say, by the way, this is me. I'm Beth. My name is Beth Santos. I am founder and CEO of Wanderful. Wanderful started as an international. I just lied. I almost lied to you. I was going to say that Wanderful started as an international community. It did not. We are an international community now. But when we started, we actually started as a travel blog. I was living overseas and I was writing my own stories. This was in 2009 that I started blogging, which feels like a million years ago. It's like a millennium. It actually is a millennium. No, it's not a millennium ago. Feels like a millennium ago, especially in the digital world, because content creation wasn't a thing. Blogging was just starting to be a thing. And I was just writing, an online diary, sharing my experiences of being a woman in the world, and realized over time how much need there was to connect women in positive and supportive ways, to give them tools to travel confidently around the world. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of, people telling women that it's so super unsafe and you shouldn't do it and you should never travel alone. And yet, we are in this world where women actually dominate the travel industry. We make so many of the decisions. 85% of travel consumer decisions are made by women. We make so many choices about where we go and how we travel. And yet we're really pushed into this category of being kind of the the exception to the rule. So it was only over that time that I realized how much opportunity there was to give women resources and to connect them with one another, to connect them with our absolute best asset, each other, and to give women the chance to make meaningful progress in their travel lives, but also in building travel careers. So Wanderful now, let's see if I can get these slides moving around the way I want them to move. So Wanderful now is, and here's like a little bit of an overview of who we are, our community, what our local hubs do, what our hub leader responsibilities are. But what we're all about now is giving women access to each other in the travel space, but also in cultivating community among women who kind of started in the same place that we started with wanting to share their voice and have been building businesses through that. So we have a huge content creator network. We have a huge entrepreneur network, women who are small business owners, tour guides, travel agents, really building this incredible ecosystem of women helping women travel the world with this overall broader mission of changing that face of the travel industry, showing the incredibly diverse, incredibly strong community that we are, even though you still go online and look up travelers and you still get a lot of like the same looking person, to be honest. And they're usually under the age of 25 and able-bodied and white and sometimes male, sometimes women, and really showing how many of us there are. So we do a lot of things at Wanderful, and I'll give you a little bit of a view of some of those things that we do. We have an online member community that we actually launched during COVID. We didn't even have a membership-based community before that. We were meetups and Facebook groups and conferences. And then during COVID, we actually launched this online space, which has become this incredible and beautiful part of who we are, being able to cross-culturally and cross-border connect women everywhere, gender diverse people as well, and give them a space where we can talk about travel, share our experiences, share our stories, have a network of people where if you're traveling somewhere, you have instant access to somebody who lives nearby who can meet you for a cup of coffee or host you or give you a list of great things to do. We also run a number of really neat events. We're the creators of the WITS Creator Summit. That has been running since 2014. It's the largest gathering of women travel creators in the world, which is amazing. Our next one is going to be in New York this May. I hope to see a lot of you there. At that show, we also do an award show called the Bessie Awards, which we've been running since 2019, that honors women of impact in the travel industry. And just last year, we actually launched the Woman-Owned Map, which is the first of its kind interactive map of women-owned businesses all around the world. We're doing it in partnership with an awesome company called Seeker that has created all the technology. And it allows you to have a map on your phone, and wherever you go, you can search nearby and see what women-owned businesses are there near me that I can visit and go and let's, rebuild this economy and support more women-owned business. So it's really cool. Go to womanownedmap.com if you haven't. Check it out. We're always adding to it. It's still growing. But I leave the best for last because this is what we're talking about today, our local chapter network. So even before Wanderful was a business, sorry, I have a space heater blowing my hair into my face. So I'm doing this a lot. Okay. Even before we incorporated as a business, we had started meetup groups. What we realized was just having a blog, that's great, being able to be in an online space. But the real magical part of Wanderful is the in-person connections, I'll be honest. I mean, the online connections are fantastic, but when you're able to gather in person with so many people from whether it's in your city or around the world, it is magical. And that's when we started hosting meetups. Our first ones were in Chicago, which is where I was living at the time. And we got a group of women together to talk about, it was a fundraiser, actually. We were doing like a fundraiser at a local bar to support this international women's nonprofit, and it was fantastic. And just seeing the connection that was made, between two people who may not have had a whole lot in common, but in that moment, we're able to talk forever about the thing that they love so much, which is travel, and giving women space to do that, especially in a world where honestly, and like, I'll get off my soapbox, but we are not told enough to prioritize ourselves, to dig into ourselves, to provide self-care, because that makes us better partners and mothers and parents and friends and and career professionals, but also because we deserve that time for ourselves. And I think that's one of the things I love about Wanderful the most is everybody who's part of this community is taking time to invest in themselves, invest in something that they love to help make them a better person, but also just to enrich their souls, just to enrich their lives. So our chapters have grown. We call them local hubs now, and they've grown to dozens all around the world. They are so fun. And my favorite part is when people go from one to the other, whether it's because of a permanent move or whether temporarily visiting, and being able to check in with a local group that they can get support from and help from, or just camaraderie and friendship. So let's talk a little bit more about our hubs. And thank you all for the comments. You guys are so fantastic. I love everything that you're saying. Kenya's saying a tour guide in Atlanta, which is so fantastic. Phoenix is going to be at WITS for the first time this year. Yay, Phoenix. I'm so excited for you. We've got a business consultant using human design tuning in for Virginia. Sarah, that's so fantastic. Keep dropping in the comments your questions, comments, ideas, suggestions. If you've been to a local meetup before, if you haven't, if you've been to WITS before, if you haven't, let us know. But let's talk a little about what our hubs do and what they function for. So I told you a quick overview of how that in-person connection makes such a big difference in our community. And really, I think, especially now, we have existed through the pandemic. And I think the pandemic changed a lot of things for us. We had so many in-person events. Then COVID happened and we switched to online. Then COVID ended, more or less. And what we found was at first, of course, a hesitancy to gather again. But now, actually, what I see, and I think a lot of you see it too, is an intention. There is this renewed intention about our in-person activities. We realize that in-person takes more time and more energy, but we also realize that the ROI of an in-person experience is so much more, right? You make deeper connections, you make enriching friendships, and that is something that's very important for all of us. And so I think what I've loved seeing over the last year is how much our local hubs have really grown and created this community that I honestly don't even know if we could have had before COVID, because now we realize how important and how special it is. So it's been really cool seeing those grow. There will be all sorts of fun pictures that you'll see here as we go along. And the way our local hubs usually work is they have between 1 and about 3 or 4 local hub leaders that will work in one hub, and they host a mix of types of events throughout the year. So what we ask for is one quarterly event that's public, and it doesn't have to be like perfectly on the calendar quarter, but more or less 3 to 4 events per year that are public facing events that anyone can have access to, which gives you a chance to just get to know new people, share the Wanderful community with them, have access. And then in the off months, doing things that are just for our members. Maybe you're going out for dinner, maybe you're checking out a new woman-owned business together, maybe you're going on a day trip. So it's a nice mix between things that are just for Wanderful members and then things that are broader reaching to our entire community. I want to share with you, here, before I do that, this is a list of our current active hubs. I know this is one of the big questions that we always get is, what hubs are actually looking for leadership? What hubs are? So this will give you a good sense of what is already out there. It does not mean that it's not looking for help. So some of these, maybe they have one hub leader and they would love to have 1 or 2 more. So that might be the case. In other places, if you're not seeing your city on this list, it doesn't mean that we've never had a local hub there. It just means that we don't have leadership there right now. So there's a little bit of a mix for what you might find between hubs that might want some more leadership, hubs that existed before but aren't on this list anymore, or hubs that have never existed. And so in this webinar, what I'd love to do is give you the opportunity to do one of 2 things: either join an existing hub that might want some more help, or start a new hub and get started. And Jen's like, come on and join me in Boston. I know, here in Boston, we have such a great group and we're looking for more leadership. So come and join in Boston. That's good. I love that. Okay, let's do, what's on my next slide? Oh, this is great. So a couple things I wanted to share with you, a couple of the comments from some of our existing hub leaders who are phenomenal. We have a really great group of people. And one thing that I don't talk about so much in this webinar, but I think is worth mentioning now, is that when you become a hub leader, you actually become kind of like a VIP member. You get special access to all of the other hub leaders, and you really build these incredible friendships all around the world with other women who are leaders in this space. So we have regular gatherings that we do online, we do masterminds, we have in-person trainings. I'll share some of this later too. But it is really fun because you are a leader in your city, but then you also get to be part of this select group of other leaders from around the world that you get to make connections with. So this is a comment from Pam, who is not only our Mexico City hub leader, but also has recently joined the Wanderful team as our chief travel planner. So anytime you come with us on a global meetup or a Wanderful trip, Pam is the woman behind everything, making it all happen. And she said, being a hub leader is such a big opportunity to share my culture with the community and learn from others. I love that I can help women when they're visiting Mexico and make their trip even more unique and local. I really enjoy being able to connect deeper with members and listen to their travel life stories. And oh my gosh, Claudia, I completely agree with you. Pam is amazing. You will see if you ever go to Mexico City, she is ambassador #1. She'll give you all of her best tips of what to do. And if she's free, she'll meet up with you. And I honestly think that's like one of the biggest perks of being a hub leader is not just having events for people who are local, but being able to meet up with people that are coming to town. It's like your own type of travel without actually going anywhere, right? It's like meeting up with people who are new and can tell you about their stories. This is another one that's come from Teresa. She's been a longtime hub leader in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm excited to share the Wanderful community with friends in St. Louis, and I love representing my city to my fellow travelers in Wanderful. I love being connected to women all over the world, and I want to share that with everyone. So we have really great and kind and special people that are in this community that want to open up their cities with others, but also want to welcome people into their city if they're coming to visit. And to give you a little bit of an overview of what that exactly looks like, I want to take you through some of the specific responsibilities of a hub leader so you can kind of understand what we're doing. And Kenya, the WITS is going to be May 16th to 18th in downtown Manhattan. I know you know that part, but I'm just adding it into the comments so that everyone can see it. Okay, great. Primary hub leader responsibilities. There's really 3. The first is creating a safe, nurturing, collaborative, and enthusiastic space. Okay. It's funny that I say this because some of you might think that the first primary responsibility is related to travel. I get that. But also, what's really interesting about Wanderful is while our whole focus is on travel, really the underlying thing that we do is to create truly caring, supportive, nurturing communities for women to make lasting friendships. I really think that that's actually like at the very bottom foundation of what Wanderful is all about. We do that in the context of travel. We do that in the context of facilitating cross-cultural friendships and international relationships. We do that through helping women build businesses in the travel industry. But at the end of the day, I think the bedrock of all of this is helping women have a space of belonging and a space of mutual support. So primary responsibility #1 of our hub leaders is to create that environment. You have to be really a community builder at its most molecular level here of being enthusiastic and supportive and wanting to help women feel safe, to be able to open up, to be vulnerable, and to support one another. I think a really great hub has a leader that can do that and can kind of cultivate that space. I think the second thing that our hub leaders do is they create that welcoming space for new visitors, right? So you'll have people, whether they're in the Wanderful community or they're new to Wanderful, that are coming to town, that are looking for resources and support and guidance. And even if it's like, I know I'm kind of talking in like big picture stuff because that's just what goes on in my head, but also thinking about this from the very simple level of like, I'm going to Boston. What should I do when I'm here? Having somebody who can say, hey, welcome to Boston. This is my favorite restaurant. Go check it out. Sometimes having that one person to guide you can be really, really helpful. So that's something that our hub leaders do is they create a welcoming space for new visitors. A lot of them have a visitor's guide that they actually build in the member community so that people can see what are some of their favorite businesses to visit, et cetera. How do we get there? Where's the airport, et cetera. And then the third thing is connecting that local community with the worldwide Wanderful ecosystem. So not just giving them a space where they can connect with each other, like, point number one here, but also giving them access to this whole entire wonderful world that we've created, interacting with, multiple hubs and having them team up, or getting a group of people and having them come to WITS and I'll participate there, or going on a trip together, so being able to really facilitate that worldwide network and continue to do that is a big part of this as well. Okay, so how does that actually break down now that I've given you like the very kind of flowy things? Here's what it is. There's 3 roles. There used to be 4. We've kind of reduced it. There's 3 specific roles that hub leaders can do. Some hub leaders, if you're a solo hub leader, which I don't recommend, to be honest, because it is a lot of work, but if you feel extremely passionately about it, we'll consider it. You could potentially do all of these jobs. But again, it would be a lot. But these are the different roles. One is the event and meetup leaders. They're the ones who are planning those monthly meetups, the public facing events, all of that. We have a marketing and partnership lead. They're focusing on making sure that your local hub has visibility, that people are learning about it, and building partnerships with local small businesses or other communities that they might be able to team up with, et cetera. And then we also have our community engagement leads. Those are people who help with new member onboarding and making them feel welcome. They'll participate in our online platform, which is hosted on Mighty Networks. They'll keep engagement going in the community, check in with members, make them feel warm and welcome, and just kind of like keeping the energy thriving. So for each of these, I would expect maybe 2 hours per week, maybe max 5 if you're having an event or something that week is usually what I expect. We have, let me see if I have it on the next slide. I actually think it's benefits. Yeah, okay, so we'll add this in here. We have like regular meetings that our hub leaders are invited to attend. So the more engaged you want to be as a hub leader, the more the time commitment goes up. There's kind of baseline expectations of what you do, but then you can always add to it and come to, we have like fun webinars that we'll host or masterminds about specific things. Just yesterday, we had a mastermind on how to plan your wonderful year. We kind of went through our calendars and figured out, okay, when might I want to have a meetup and what might it look like? And we could share with one another and get ideas from each other. So those things are optional, but they help you do this even better and help you connect better. Now, here's what you get, right? Because that's like, of course, we all want to know like what we get out of this. So there's some really great things that happen for our hub leaders. First of all, they get what for every year that they participate in Wanderful as a hub leader, they get a 1-year entrepreneur membership. Michelle's like, sign me up. I love you, Michelle. They get a 1-year entrepreneur membership. So this is our newest membership. For those of you who are familiar with our small business membership, it's a renewed version of that. It's really helping creators build an entrepreneurial career, use, like sustainable income-driven career, et cetera. So that is right now billed at $49 a month. It's going to increase in price probably over the next few months, but you get it for free as a hub leader. So you get access to basically the top tier of Wanderful membership and access to all of it. Every hub also gets 2 free tickets to WITS to distribute among their hub in exchange for spending some time volunteering at the Wanderful booth, and 2 50% off tickets as well, so that they have access to that for the whole team. And actually this, I don't know why I put it as point number 3, because this is honestly the biggest one, which is all of our hub leaders are compensated as affiliates that are very high tier level affiliates in our Wanderful member community. So we have an affiliate program that our Wanderful members can join to share Wanderful, if you're a creator member or higher, to share Wanderful with your friends. But our hub leaders get even more than that. They get a 40% recurring commission on memberships. And there is a really fantastic affiliate program that we run. It's through a company called Rootable, which is a woman-founded affiliate company. And we we make it as easy as possible for you to be recognized for the work you do as a hub. So what I mean by that is anytime we have this annual travel and adventure show that happens in a lot of cities, and many of our hubs will have a booth at that show. Anybody who signs up at the booth and gives an email, we add them to your affiliate link. So you get compensated for building your local hub, for creating a community that hangs around, for keeping people engaged and supported. And those public facing events also go right into your affiliate count. So this is a way for you to build passive, recurring revenue and your own career, honestly, building a wonderful community in the city that you're living in and supporting one another, supporting other women, giving them access to each other. And all you're doing is kind of creating that space and that network. You also get some really fun perks. I like to call this like a VIP member status. You get priority consideration for speaking opportunities. If we ever have a spot on a press trip, that's offered to our hub leaders first. We have a really fun hub leader retreat that we do the day after WITS, where everything is free. And we just like pamper you. We give you like all sorts of free stuff. And we're planning like a really fancy luncheon, I think, this year after WITS for all of our hub leaders. So some really fun perks like that. And then other goodies as they come along. Sometimes we'll send you swag. We'll send you like materials that you can use for your events, but also like merchandise. And it's really fun. I think it can be like a really great community, but also just something to be part of. So those are the benefits that you get. Now let's talk about what makes a great hub leader, because I do think that being a hub leader is not for everyone. And I say that with kindness because I know there are a lot of people that love Wanderful and love travel, and they want to get involved more. And I think that's great. However, being a hub leader does require a bit of work. I think because it is an affiliate driven role, we look for people who are natural at talking about Wanderful, about sharing Wanderful, who not only love this community, but are really great communicators. Really great. To be like direct about it, I think like good salespeople, people who are just like really good at kind of like speaking about the value of something and creating natural ways to get other people excited about things. We're also looking for natural marketers, right? If you're having a public event, it's on you to promote that event and to share it, to build relationships with other organizations on the ground, to build a relationship with your local tourism board so that you can spread the word about the Women in Travel meetup that you're hosting and build that. I think while you have so much community and so much access to other hub leaders, at the end of the day, you are kind of an island. And if you have a couple other hub leaders in your hub, you all are the ones that are cultivating that whole network of travel lovers in your city. So you are able to check in with all the other hub leaders, but at the end of the day, like you're in Boston, building up Boston, or you're in New York, building up New York, or you're in Barcelona, building up Barcelona. So you need to have, I think, good connections, willingness to reach out, willingness to talk things up, an understanding of basic marketing. It doesn't mean that you have to be a master at social media, but it does mean that you can be creative about getting the word out about your events and making sure that people are hearing about stuff. I think people who are extroverts have an easier time with this job than people who are introverts. It doesn't mean that we don't have introverts that are great hub leaders. It's just that you are going to be standing in front of groups and speaking, so you have to be at least somewhat comfortable or willing to put yourself in a place of discomfort at our events so that you can say, hi, my name is Beth and I'm the local hub leader. And let me tell you about Wanderful. And it's so great to have you all here. Let's all introduce ourselves, so being able to have that, I think, is really important. And I think that's it. Yeah. And then, the kind of like going from the bottom to the top, depending on the role that you apply for, of course, having past experience in that role is good. If you're applying for the event planning role, then having experience planning events and logistics is great. If you're applying for the marketing role, having marketing experience is great. So just thinking about that in that way. Okay, for those of you who are thinking of starting a new hub, there are some additional requirements to do that. the first thing is that, and this is something that we're like being a bit more sticklers about, I suppose, than we have in past years. All prospective hub leaders that want to start a new hub must sign up for an affiliate account with Wanderful first. And we need to see you bring in 5 new members before you start that local hub. There's a few reasons for this, but the main 2 are, number 1, we need to see that there's actual like desire for community in the hub that you're creating. Sometimes we'll have people who want to start a hub, but don't really have any access to people around them. And I think it's great to have that drive and to want to do it, but also I need to see that you're able to galvanize people and gather them and get them excited about something. So we're looking for any new hub that starts. That prospective hub leader needs to create an affiliate account with Wanderful. And I can give you the link to that actually to make it easier for you so that you don't have to worry about that. Once I have the thing in here, it's through, I mentioned it's through our affiliate partner, Rootable. And what you can do with that is go ahead and create the account and start sharing that affiliate link. Here's the link to affiliate sign up here. You can start as early as now, get that started. And then once you've hit 5 signups, then you can go in and apply. And at that point, you've basically already interviewed for the job. You know, like if you can do that and do that independently, that's the kind of level of self-motivation that I'm looking for. And at the end of the day, we do look for a level of self-motivation because, as I mentioned, you do a lot of this on your own. We have a lot of hubs. So being the kind of person who is knocking on doors and checking in and making sure that people are, you know, and like asking me for an answer, making sure you're getting the resources that you're needing and not waiting passively. We're looking for active agents here. Erin, no, there is no fee to sign up for the affiliate account. It's totally free. The account that you're signing up for gives you a 25% recurring revenue. So like you're making money from this too. You know, if you sign up one person, you're going to make money from it. And that goes with all membership levels. So traveler, creator, and entrepreneur levels all apply. No fee to sign up. You just apply. It takes like 1 second. We can approve you and you can start using that link right away. I also highly recommend anyone who wants to start a new hub to start with a partner. Again, you don't have to, but at least having another person can help, especially because this is a travel community. What we find is that a lot of our hub leaders travel. So being able to be available consistently every month isn't always the easiest thing. So having a partner can help you. Oh, gosh, got myself stuck during my live stream. Ouch. Having a partner can really help you. Yay, Phoenix already signed up. Good job, Phoenix. I love it. And then you can kind of get the ball rolling with that and have somebody who can help support you or bounce ideas off of, etc. What else? How to apply? Okay, so let's talk through that, and then we'll do a little bit of last Q&A. I think there are a couple things that have come in that I want to make sure that I answer. So how to apply? As I mentioned before, and I'll put it up on the screen again, there is a website that you can go to. It's sheswanderful.com/start-a-hub. And when you do that, that is both for new hubs as well as new hub leaders of existing hubs. So the application is the same, regardless of if you want to start a new hub or not. Go ahead and fill it out there. If you want to join an existing hub team, what we do is we run it by our leadership in that local hub to make sure they're looking for somebody. We have them be part of that process. If it's like a brand new one, then even better. I can, look at that and get you started. We are doing a new round of hub leader acceptances starting March 1st. So you've got a month to really start getting the ball rolling, talking about this with friends, sharing any interest. We will accept new hub leaders on a rolling basis after that, but we'll do like a big round March 1st. So if you want to get all the best support, I would highly recommend you get your application in by then so that you can join us. There is a training process that you go through. It is self-guided. Once you finish that training process, that's when you get your 40% special hub leader affiliate code. So it gives you all the information about Wanderful, about the role. It's done in our member hub, which is hosted again on Mighty Network. So you'll be able to put it there. And then that onboarding, you'll get like a badge when you complete it. You'll also get access to a special space in our member hub that is just for hub leaders. That space will give you the chance to chat with each other. We also have a WhatsApp group for any urgent concerns or questions. And then we have ongoing masterminds, learning sessions where you can kind of learn different skills. Those are all optional, but again, like the more you add, the more you participate, the better it is for everyone. So you'll get all sorts of resources. And of course, I have to say it again, if you are thinking about coming to WITS is happening in, 3 months, March, April, May. Oh my gosh, it is in 3 months. So in 3 months, we'll be at WITS all together. And there's no better time to be a hub leader because that hub leader retreat is such a fun way to get to know all of the other hub leaders in person. We do some fun activities together. You get to be in community with each other. So it's really fantastic. Okay, let's do some Q&A because I want to make sure that I answer some of those things as well. So the first question that I saw come in was from Kenya. I think you had a question in here. I'm looking for it. It was saying something about, here we are. So because Atlanta is so big, should I join the current leader to assist or start a North Atlanta hub? I think this is a great question. And this one actually comes up a lot, especially for people who are in really big cities like New York, that has come up before, LA, that has come up before. Really, it's up to you. I can put you in touch with the local hub leaders if you want to talk about it. I think it really depends on how much of a community you think you can build in your area. So the Bay Area, for example, had this challenge where they had a hub in the Bay Area, and I think that's actually still what it's called. But then they found that for somebody in the South Bay going to the North Bay, it would take like hours at the end of the day, and it just wasn't feasible. So I think every city is a little bit different in that way. I'm definitely open to having more than one hub if transportation is like a logistical problem. And the other nice thing about that is that then you can do things together. But also if we're finding that the distance isn't bad and you can, bring people together once a month or pick different parts of the city once a month, it is nice to have like a larger hub in general and to not necessarily be competing with each other. So it's worth thinking about. You also might, I've seen this done before too, where maybe you have one hub team, but then each of you is geographically responsible for a different area. We had New York like that for a little while, where there was somebody who was like responsible for Brooklyn and they did Brooklyn meetups, and somebody else was responsible for Manhattan. And that can help too, because then you get to benefit from having a team. But at the same time, you get to have your own events as well. A couple other questions. Here, let's see. We're looking for some people in the comments that are like, want to partner on some things. I see Eastern North Carolina in the list. Aaron asked, with a partner hub leader, do both you and the partner get 25% each? Okay, so it is 40%. Now, this is the one tricky part. If you have a partner, then there's only one affiliate payout that happens. So there's only one time that 40% payout is given to somebody because it corresponds with your affiliate link. Now, this can be done in a couple of different ways, and we leave this to the local hub to decide how they want to do it. One thing that you might do is you might have one central affiliate account that both of you use, and then you just kind of divide the money equally and you do it that way. And so you're both using the same link and then you're dividing it. I've also seen where hub leaders will alternate on which affiliate link is being used at what time. Like someone will say, all of the emails are going to have this affiliate link, but all of the in-person stuff is going to have this. So it's not, the 40% link is used one time. So if there's two of you, it'll be 20 and 20, or however you want to divide it. But you will have to divide and conquer it the way you want to do it. Other questions that have come in. Let's see. Oh, yes. And yes, Jen just answered that question too. Thank you, Jen. You're wonderful. I love this. How do we ensure we receive credits for new memberships sold? This is great. So the thing I love about our new affiliate program, and I'm just touting their horn, honestly, because we had an old one last year and we've just brought this new one in. And like, this goes to show that honestly, women-owned businesses are the best, right? Like, can we all just get on the same page about this? So Rootable is a really fantastic affiliate platform. They do a couple things to really make sure that affiliates are counted. The first thing is that they have a cookie tracking, a very advanced cookie tracking. We have it set to 180 days, which is like out of this world for cookies. So basically, if somebody goes to the Wanderful website, there's a cookie that's installed on the website. If it came from you, that will be credited, even if they don't sign up for almost 6 months. So the cookie tracking is great. The other thing that they have is something called leads, which is really fantastic. You actually can generate a list of people who have opted in for something with Wanderful, like they opted in for our email list, but it came from your affiliate account. Then you'll have your own sub list of people that have shown interest in Wanderful, but maybe haven't signed up as members yet, that you can nurture in your own way. So it gives you a lot more control over the ability to reach back out to people and say, hey, I saw that you were interested. I saw that you just came to our local hub event, last month. I would love to tell you more about Wanderful, or I'd love to. So those are great things. There's like this whole lead nurturing sequence. But the other thing on top of that is, because you have your own unique affiliate link and because of the cookie tracking, you actually don't have to nurture anyone at all. You might just sign somebody up for our free solo travel guide. They put in their email, they're now linked to your affiliate account. And if they ever sign up, because we will send them emails and we'll have events and we'll do things, that will be credited to you. So it's all, and the other thing that I love is that the payout is automatic. So it doesn't have to be manually done. It's all through Rootable. It just goes straight to you. So it's a fantastic tracking mechanism. I know some of our current affiliates that have recently signed up love it, because they do get a little bit more visibility on like who's starting and how is that going. Let's see. Is Charlotte open for any positions? Yes, I think so. Where should I start with Wanderful? This is my first time hearing of this and I don't know where to begin. Oh my goodness, Sarah. So there's so many great places to start. Here's what I would suggest you do. First thing is come into our community and check it out. So I think our best hub leaders are people who are familiar with Wanderful from the beginning. You don't have to be like a super user or understand everything, but I think sometimes just having a grasp for how our community works is really nice. So let me drop into the chat right now. You can go to sheswanderful.com. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to drop it to you directly, community.sheswanderful.com. And that is the sign up for our member community. There's a 1-week free trial, so you can just go and check it out and see what you like about it and explore some of the other hubs. I actually would highly recommend that for anybody who wants to be a hub leader, is go into some of the hubs, see how they're working and how they run, because that can be a really great way to get a feel for what it's like. You can talk to the hub leaders in that hub, especially if there's one that's maybe somewhat close to where you live and you want to get some advice from them. I think that can be great. And really just get to know us better. And then if this is something that you're thinking, wow, I'd really love to have this in my community, then you can come on and do the start a hub, application and get there. So I would start with that. Also, if any affiliates are watching this right now and want to drop your affiliate link in the chat, this is a great way to get one. Just saying, just putting that out there. But yes, we want to help you thrive. And I think creating this ecosystem of women helping women is so fantastic. So let's continue to lift each other up. Let's continue to support one another. I love how many of you have already been sharing your ideas in the chat. I think that's so fantastic. I've seen talk about Toronto. We have 2 hub leaders in Toronto, but I think they could use a third for sure. I'm seeing conversations about North Carolina. I'm seeing conversations about all sorts of different places. Virginia Beach. So good. So check it out. Visit that website. If you have any other questions, you can always find us on Instagram at She's Wanderful. On Facebook, same handle there. You can send us an email. I'm going to put it right in the chat too, team@sheswanderful.com. We'll go right to our Wanderful community so you can learn more about us there. And I am so excited to see how many great applications come in. Don't forget, get them in by March 1st. It's not required. We can take them rolling after, but it's going to be 10 times easier for you. And you get started with a group. And you have a cohort if you start March 1st. Yes, start the hub in Vegas. I love all of that. You all are fantastic. So thanks for taking the time. I know it's the middle of the day for some, end of the day for others, beginning of the day for others, middle of the night for others. I appreciate you all taking the time that you have to be with us. There is a question about Northern Virginia Hub. I would connect with our DC hub because some of our DC hub leaders are based in Northern Virginia. I think it would be interesting to ask them. They have a very strong hub, which is great. It would be interesting to see if they think that they would like to divide into two or not, because there could be room for that. So I would definitely check that out as well. And Sarah, oh my gosh, yes, you're in like the best place then, because again, our DC hub is fantastic. And if you want to check them out too at the Travel and Adventure Show, the Travel and Adventure Show is going to be in DC in the end of March, I think, like the 23rd of March. And all of our Wanderful members get a free ticket to the Travel and Adventure Show. So you can come on, grab a ticket, go to the Wanderful booth, talk with our local hub team there. They're phenomenal people. And they can get going. Aaron's asking about a Milwaukee hub. We did have a Milwaukee hub, but it's inactive right now. We don't have a leader, I don't think. So that is one where we have a lot of members that are in the Milwaukee area, but are looking for leadership. So, okay, everyone, you're amazing. I love all the questions that are coming in. Go forth, do incredible things in the world. Keep being the masterful people that you are. I'm so grateful for the time that you spent with us. Oh, thanks, Jen. 29th, not 23rd. I'm so grateful for the time that you spend with us. I hope to see many great applications come in, and we'll leave you to it. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.